Welcome, everybody, to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show featuring Dr. Carolyn Dean. Join Dr. Dean for the next 2 hours along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders, also known as Ginny Almighty. Join Dr. Dean as she shares with us her vast range of experience, knowledge, talent, and wisdom. Phone lines are now open, and we'll be taking your calls from around the world and here in the USA.
Welcome everyone to Dr. Carolyn Dean Live here on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting humankind with universal love and uniting Dr. Carolyn Dean with the whole wide world that needs more than ever. And I say it every week, more than ever before, we need Dr. Dean at the forefront of our knowledge. We need Dr. Dean's wisdom at the forefront of our decision-making for our own health. And I say every week more than ever, but I'm telling you, week by week, it really does get more and more urgent as we watch the state of events that continue to unfold in front of our eyes. And even those who have loved ones and co-workers, family members and friends, business associates, playmates, co-students in your schools and people in your neighborhoods who are struggling with health decisions right now, we feel like we have a very unique opportunity and a wonderful platform with Dream Vision 7 Radio Network to remind everyone, according to the wisdom of Dr. Carolyn Dean, that we are intelligently designed beings and that we have a latent wisdom in every single cell of our bodies that allows us to be uniquely fortified to survive in any environment if we give our bodies the proper building blocks. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. I'm Ginny Sanders. I'll be Dr. Dean's co-host for the next 2 hours. And although our topic is heart health, and we're going to be talking about the heart, but we're going to get to the heart of the matter in all matters. And that is how to use your health freedom and your own mind to make proper choices for your body and for your health. And that's availing yourself of all resource. That's the resource of your own intelligent design of your body. That's the resource of all the nutrients and all the power of nature that's behind you. And that in some cases can be availing you of the resource of medicine, but when it's used astutely and accurately according to the true need of the body, once all other resources have been employed. And unfortunately, as we've learned from Dr. Dean so many times over the course of the last 10 years that I've been doing this radio show with her, we have a tendency to not go to allopathic medicine as a last resort, but we use it as a first resort. And we use nature as a lost cause, not even a last cause, a lost cause. And that backwardsness has got us in a little bit of a pickle. But Dr. Dean is here, as she is faithfully every week, to help straighten us out and get us on the path that is going to allow us to preserve our health, our vitality, our well-being, and our emotional stability, our mood, and to be able to be bright and responsive and hopeful and joyful, and to be a light for others in the midst of a very confusing time. So I'm happy to partner, to be with her. She's the love of my life and my total joy. She is a doctor of 50 years experience, and she has been teaching the public in every degree and level about every single thing you can imagine, ladies and gentlemen, from something as complicated as the human genome to something as simple as how to use a neti pot. Dr. Dean is there with all the words and the ways of how to really get the best out of your health. And so we can lean on her, we can rely on her, we can trust her, and we can also trust her very straightforward Scottish nature. She's going to get to the bottom line right away, and she's going to break it down in simple terms. You will be empowered and inspired as you listen and engage with her. And if you have a personal question that you'd like to ask her, 646-558-8657 is the number. It's on your screen here at Dream Vision 7 Radio. It's on YouTube. It's in all of our emails, and you are welcome to chat us up and call into the show a little bit later after Dr. Dean sends her opening volley out into the universe. We open up the phones and you'll be able to speak with her. So you're going to be delighted in our show tonight. We were gone last week because of the Memorial Day or the Labor Day holiday. We're back with our peeps. We're back on YouTube with all of our most very special and precious friends who we love. And we are ready to bring Dr. Dean in now. And there she is. Hello, my
love. Your precious love, my gosh. I hope Greg isn't hearing this. Gosh, it sounds like grounds for divorce to me. But let me just say, maybe a little spell check. I think I might have heard you say allopathic medicine as the first resort. And I know you meant alternative medicine. And, I could be wrong, but just for people to know that allopathic medicine is there as a resort. We tend to not think of alternatives until the last resort. And we want you to use natural medicine as the first resort. So yes, as Jenny said, the heart of the matter is the matter of the heart. And the heart is vulnerable physically and emotionally. Our topic is the heart today, but I just want to say these words. Our hearts are heavy these days. Bob and I lived in New York at the time of 9/11. And just a sidebar, I'm very fortunate to lead a very blessed life. And we just happened to move out of Manhattan the year before 9/11. So we weren't in the soup of it. But we witnessed the Twin Towers burning from the beach on City Island in the Bronx, and it was utter devastation. So now the perpetrators of 9/11 are free to do it again using U.S. weapons. The people I know in the military have been shocked and are suffering PTSD. And then there's the so-called pandemic that could have been controlled, but it wasn't, because the medical profession has been compromised. And how did this happen? It was a slow but obvious decline of doctors' autonomy taken over by the drug companies that I saw happening from my med school days in the mid-70s. Big pharma funds medical schools that teach that drugs are the only solution. They fund most of the medical research, which was just about and is just about drugs, and independent medical practices were swept away in the HMO takeover, so that doctors were no longer their own bosses, but were forced into 5-minute appointments and following the standard practice of medicine, which meant drugs and surgery. If they didn't, they were fired. When COVID hit, the drug company spokespeople took over. They told the world there was no treatment for this virus and that we had to wait for the vaccine. In natural medicine, we knew this was a lie, but it was a necessary lie for the government to be able to issue emergency use for the vaccine because they insisted that there was no other treatment. If there's no treatment, you can allow an emergency use of something that could be dangerous. That's what they did. That's why anything else was vigorously suppressed. This was in spite of Fauci admitting on an Instagram interview, I think it was September 10, 2020, that he takes vitamin C and 8,000 units of vitamin D to boost his immune system. Several reports about this interview are no longer available. So why didn't Fauci make this a mandate to take vitamin C and vitamin D? Because it interferes with the emergency authorization use of the vaccine for which he and his cronies own patents worth billions. People, we are in serious trouble. We are at war, and the only solution is to stay healthy. I've been saying that for decades. Our weapons are the nutrients that will keep us healthy. If the workforce walks out and the economy slows even more, we are not going to have access to these nutrients. Be prepared.
Yep.
I realize that some of this sounds like a commercial for our products, and is because I see that all that I have done in the past 2 decades is for such a time as this. I wrote about magnesium, which is necessary for vitamin D to work. I found out that I needed a non-laxative magnesium for myself when no one else would do it. I finally had it made. I built a 30,000 square foot warehouse and filled it to the rafters with inventory for such a time as this. I used to be embarrassed because I became a capitalist seller of supplements, but I know that nobody else could or would make these absolutely unique formulas for such a time as this. Ginny, your comment.
I'm with you 100%. I do see how everything that we've done is for this. And it was interesting because today I am not a doctor. I want to say I am a radio show co-host. So I'm not a doctor. I keep telling people that I'm not a doctor, but because we provide the extraordinary level of customer service that we do over the course of the years, my phone number has been given out to a lot of people, my personal cell phone number, and a lot of people know what we're doing now. And a lot of people have contacted me and they are sick. And everything that we did last year, so to your response, in preparing, I thought was going to be for last year. No, I think it's really for this year and next year. I mean, it's incredible how many people are sick right now. So I have also, I don't fully understand the choices that people make. I try to. As a pastor, I sat in the middle of the inner city in a home that I converted to a mission, and I made it my business to be in service on behalf of Christ to so many poor. And I never understood why they would not just simply come into my house and get food so they could feed their families. They'd rather go out and steal and do other things. When I was sitting right there, it was right there, I was ready. And now we're sitting right here. And I still, for the life of me, do not understand why people are not availing themselves of the resources that we are providing so freely and easily in terms of education, options, opportunities, availing you on a radio show, this and that. There seems to be a pretty stubborn streak inside of people that they think that somehow something's not going to occur for them that is going to occur for others. But really, this is, if your body is not fortified, this is going to, now you're going to recover, but can you really afford to lose time from work? I mean, we hope you're going to recover. But can you afford to lose time from work or time away from your family or quarantine or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, just to take the risk of playing this game? So we really do have to continue to encourage you to yield to what is being offered and to also be responsible to your friends and family. And I'll tell you, because we're doing it all day, every day, the worst time to need a box of our products is when you're already sick. The best time to have our products is when you're healthy and they're on hand and you're there and you're taking them and you're fortifying your body. And then if you were to get a little bit of something, all you're doing is doubling your dose, but you don't want to start from ground zero when you're in the middle of a COVID episode.
Right. Very good. And yeah, Jenny, you said so many people are sick right now. Yeah, we've got people with COVID, people with the variants, and the variants are milder. Every virus in the whole universe gets milder over time as the variants kind of flake out. This is nothing new. Variants are nothing new. So they're getting milder, but people are still getting sick and they're not being treated. And you're told to wait until you get really sick, and then you come in and they put you on a ventilator. So we've got people who are still getting sick. I mean, I've been with people who've been vaccinated and are making other people sick.
Yep.
They almost got me, but when I figured it out, I just doubled my dosing and I was fine. People are, as I said, they're getting sick with the vaccines and making other people sick. So everybody is now susceptible. And then we've got the long COVID that they're scaring people with. I've talked about long COVID several times. It's the 25-30% of people who, after a bad flu, will have post-flu symptoms. I wrote about this in my Future Health Now encyclopedia, decades ago. This happens. And what is going to be done with long COVID? Well, the first treatment is an antidepressant, so you won't be mad about being sick. So what I say about the post-COVID is we've got pulmonary issues. They say pulmonary sequelae. So your lungs are messed up. You snort and nebulize picosilver. And they say, oh, there's endocrine, cardiovascular, neuropsychiatric, musculoskeletal manifestations. That's magnesium deficiency and electrolyte deficiencies that you can get in Remag and Remite, and the need for continuing your picosilver and your sea salted water for your adrenal glands. They say the pathogenesis of fibromyalgia related to long COVID is not completely understood. Yeah. I mean, when it first kind of kicked up, that they recognized this back in the early 90s, late 80s, I was studying it because I saw it in my patients. And it's yeast overgrowth, because what are people being given for COVID? When they're finally treated in the hospital setting, antibiotics, and a lot of them. So you're getting yeast and you're walking away from the hospital with yeast overgrowth, and you've got magnesium deficiency from the stress of everything, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the pathogenesis of fibromyalgia, which they will never understand. And then listen to this double speak about long COVID. Pain augmentation disperception seems associated with exquisite neuromorphological modifications and imbalance between pro-nociceptive and anti-nociceptive pathways arising from an intricate interplay between genetic predisposition, stressful life events, psychological characteristics, and emerging peripheral mechanisms such as small fiber neuropathy or neuroinflammation. What a bunch of, let me not say the word, double speak that these asshole doctors are trying to cover up their incredible lack of any moral basis of looking at this condition as a nutrient deficiency and a virus that we have treatments for, and double speaking over it to make you think that they know something. They know nothing. Nothing. And what do we do with pain augmentation? We give magnesium. We give Remag for all the tingly, burny, muscle spasmy, twitchy things that are all about what they double spoke over. Bunch of criminals. So instead of treating long COVID with antidepressants, I've recommended the above things. Let me just repeat them. And as Jenny said, you should have them at home already. If you're hanging around people who've been vaccinated, spray the heck out of them and their surroundings and your surroundings with Flora Refresh. That will protect you. And that'll put the bubble around you, and you have to have your picosilver to snort and nebulize, your Remag Remite. I didn't say, but yes, you absolutely still need the vitamin D. Ginny, I didn't tell you yet, but I got Bob and I just had our repeat testing from Grassroots Health, our vitamin D levels are low. They were high. We're on 10,000 units and they're back to being lower. So I have to go up to 20,000 units. There is something that is draining our vitamin D. Don't know if it's a stress or the environment or whatever. And this is why you have to get your grassroots testing and keep on top of that. Even just get the vitamin D test itself and make sure that your vitamin D levels are 60 to 90. We have to do that. We have answers and information, but like Jenny says, you have to get in there and do it and use it and be responsible for your health. So we can go to Heart Health Month, but Jenny, anything more to add?
I think the thing about vitamin D is very important. I mean, we do know that that is one of the keys. And I like what you said in the beginning. And a couple things I just want to remind our audience about is if you go back to Dr. Carolyn Dean Live and you go back and search, you'll see that there is a history in the archives of Dr. Thomas Levy and Carol Baggerly coming on to the show last year to talk about the relationship of vitamin D and also how to work with pico silver nebulizing and that kind of thing. And in that show with Carol Baggerly, Cedric Garland, who's a vitamin D researcher, came on and talked about the fact that if you overlay the COVID map with the vitamin D map, the deficiencies parallel. And you have to think about, this is a nutrient deficiency epidemic, what Carolyn said. And people are deficient of vitamin D for a lot of reasons, but mostly it has a lot to do with our indoor lifestyle. And so you really want to, because we're not out in the sun on a regular basis, we're inside and we're in front of computers. So just really, if Carolyn's doubling up, I think everybody should double up because she's got the most outdoor exposure of probably anybody I know. She's out on that golf course walking for several hours in the morning. She's up with the sunrise. She's got a good, powerful, she's at the 20th latitude sun-wise. And so she's in a good longitude and latitude for sun exposure and for also, all this stuff. So really, honestly, if you are part of our radio crowd, want to get the Grassroots Health Test Kit again, email support, let them know, follow up with your testing. If you haven't done it, please do it. Find out what your level is. And in the meantime, I would just double up anyway. I'm going to double up.
Yeah. And the indoor lifestyle you mentioned, what did, our good friends in the government tell us to do the past year and a half? Stay indoors.
Go inside. Yeah.
And it killed our vitamin D and made us more susceptible.
Yeah. And it made people having to wear a mask outside. A virus can't live in a UV light spectrum. So the virus is not going to live outside anyway. But it made people nervous to be outside. And so that kind of psychological warfare, people felt safer inside when they were actually less safe inside because they were underexposed to sunlight. So you've got to really sort all this stuff out for yourself. But the main thing that we know is we've got nutritional assets that we can use and employ. And yes, social distancing is smart. And yes, hand washing. And yes, we've got the Flora Refresh, as Carolyn said. I mean, Greg and I have been flying. We've been spraying a little bubble of Flora Refresh around us. We do have a handheld nebulizer full of pico silver. And when we're on a plane, we are nebulizing pico silver the whole time we're flying and traveling so that you keep that constant stream of antibiotic, antiviral, silver as a standard in your body to just say, no, I'm not susceptible or receptive. And, Carolyn said from the beginning, and I just want to remind everybody about this. When you have a RNA virus, it does not have any inherent life in it. What it needs is it needs to slice open one of your cells and go in and grab the DNA out of it to replicate itself. And what stands on the outside of the cell to prevent that from happening is an enzyme that has magnesium at its foundation. So you keep your body flooded with magnesium. It will set a standard against a virus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty devastating what's going on, folks. And like Ginny says, we can take care of ourselves. We can take care of our friends and family. We can, but, are we?
Yeah, exactly. We've got to. So I'm going to have a talk with the staff again and just remind them, because after you do something for a while, it's just like, I've got this covered. It's like, nope, do not get sloppy. And this is Carolyn's point. Don't get sloppy. Stay focused and diligent on what you're doing.
Yeah, because, even myself, knowing all that I know and taking all that I take, a few days after I was in this person's car, she told me when I got in that, I have a cold. And I said, well, I don't want to get infected, because I had a notion that she had recently gotten vaccinated, and I don't ask people. And I said, I don't want to get infected. Oh, I'm okay. And I said it 3 times. That's what I usually do with things, is 3 times. And, she, whatever she did to say that, and she didn't want to go alone, as it turned out. Anyway, I won't get into that gossip, but I got in the car, and a few days later, and we had our trip, and a few days later, she tells me she's COVID positive. And when I got that text, it's like I went into a little bit of a OMG, and I thought to myself, I see how people get scared, because you get the OMG about, what if I get it? What if? What if? And if you don't have the resources like we do, then your body, with that shock, you immediately get the stress reaction from your adrenal glands. You shoot out some adrenaline, and that the fight or flight, what people may not remember, and I recently heard what's his name, Bernie, not Bernie, but the Bruce Lipton say, when you're in fight or flight, your immune system is depressed, it's weakened, because apparently you can't do both at the same time. If you're under fight or flight, you're not going to rest and relax with some sort of immune assault or whatever he said. It made me remember that, yes, when you're under fight or flight and you're producing adrenaline and cortisol, then you produce less white blood cells and all the things that support your immune system. So it's that shock of, quote, diagnosis that will make you vulnerable. And if you don't have the support that you would have if you've got your minerals and your vitamin D all lined up, then it can actually make you feel sicker immediately. It was very interesting going through that. Yeah. And Ash, go ahead.
I was going to say, I know you always put yourself in front of all the moving trains and moving buses so that you have a solution for the problem. I've seen you do it repeatedly. So, here's another example of you just being exposed to somebody, just to have that empathy and that understanding of how people really do feel that vulnerability, and then how to respond to it quickly the way that you did.
Mm-hmm. Right. And as soon as she mentioned the cold, I kind of gave myself a little mental kick, because I had given away my little spray bottle of Flora Revive to somebody else. Flora Revive? No, Flora Refresh. Flora Refresh. But I should have had it in my purse. I should have whipped it out and sprayed the heck out of her in her car, But anyway, let us begin the program. And I think I mentioned this the other day. I'm going to start our shows now with the small property affirmation. And, it can seem like we're saying that we're less than by saying the small property, but I think we all have a level of being sick and depleted and stressed. Otherwise, people wouldn't be here. They wouldn't be listening and reading and taking our formulas. So let me just say the small property and to set the stage. It's an affirmation. I was a small property ravaged by a storm. The fine weather has returned. The forest and the river have become calm. The house is vibrant and shines in the sun. And above all, the field is returning to its order, health, and beauty. Thank you, my diseased and depleted organs, for I know you have done all this to save my whole being. And thanks to myself for doing my healing, body, mind, and spirit. So I added that last bit, body, mind, and spirit, because we got to do it on all levels. And as Ginny said, or we said in the beginning, this is a heart whatever topic. Heart Health Month is all of September. We asked Courtney, who's running our social media, what are the questions from people in social media? And most of them are about arrhythmias, for Pete's sakes, AFib and skip beats. And for that, we send people to my heart health book at drcarolyndeanlive.com. In there, I have words and text that covers 33 triggers for AFib. Now, it sounds overwhelming. Some people just think that's a big joke. What do you mean, 33 triggers? But the most important one is magnesium deficiency. And that's something that we can certainly saturate with. And then most of the other triggers go away. But, with social media, we think of, more young people on social media. And then I think about how the Apple Watch has an app on it that checks you for AFib. So this watch is telling you, oh, you got a problem. Go to your doctor. You got a problem. But I mean, we should realize how much the heart can skip and race and pound according to circumstances. I mean, how many times have you read a book and it said, oh, I saw such and such or heard this or what, and my heart skipped a beat. I mean, that's just what the heart does. So they're taking these skip beats as being a disease, which ends you up in the cardiologist's office with a prescription. So anyway, we go to Ginny's blog for today, and it's in your email or at drcarolyndeanlive.com. And the title is Magnesium, a Key Mineral for Cardiovascular Health. Heart disease has become a dreaded condition because most people know it means a handful of medications and a certain knowledge that things are only going to get worse. But what if heart disease has a strong element of magnesium deficiency? And I would add now potassium deficiency. I mean, so many people are suffering from both. So we always now in customer service tell people about potassium. What if you have a magnesium and potassium deficiency and not heart disease? Magnesium deficiency is very common in people with a compromised cardiovascular system. In hospitals, magnesium and potassium are administered for acute myocardial infarction and cardiac arrhythmias. Like any other muscle, the heart requires magnesium. Magnesium is also used to treat angina or chest pain. But in your local clinic or practitioner's office, their response to magnesium deficiency may be a little different. First of all, they don't test for it. And even though magnesium's role in preventing heart disease and strokes is accepted for acute conditions with the use of IV magnesium, yet many cardiologists do not recognize and respond to magnesium deficiency symptoms in their primary care protocols. After all, your doctor probably thinks a magnesium pill is a laxative, and certainly won't do an ionized magnesium blood test to find out how much magnesium is in your cells working away at 1,000 enzyme processes and involved in 80% of known metabolic functions, many of which contribute to cardiovascular health. And then we have, the stats that 1,671 Americans die suddenly and unexpectedly of heart attack every day. This is our pandemic. Millions of people are unaware that they're walking on a very thin edge of the same health conditions as those with high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and on several medications to avoid having a heart attack. Yet the treatment for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and high blood sugar all deplete magnesium and cause worsening of these life-threatening cardiovascular conditions. Magnesium acts by the same mechanisms as statin drugs to lower cholesterol. Every metabolic activity in the body depends on enzymes. And as I said, earlier, magnesium is responsible for 1,000 of those enzymes. And I think, what are there? There are only about 1,600 enzymes in the body. I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact figure, but when I take the total number of enzymes in the body and subtract the number of magnesium enzymes, I get a 20% left over that magnesium is not involved with. That's how I get the 80% of known metabolic functions require magnesium. It's a bit of a roundabout explanation, but it means that we really need to be saturated with magnesium. Okay, so then there's words about making cholesterol requires a certain enzyme, and magnesium slows this enzyme down when you have enough cholesterol so that it doesn't make more. And this is the same enzyme that statin drugs just block outright. So the mechanisms are nearly the same. However, magnesium is a natural way to balance cholesterol, where statin drugs are used to destroy the whole process and create a lot of side effects. So if sufficient magnesium is in the body, cholesterol will be limited to its necessary functions, the production of hormones, the maintenance of cell membranes, and there will not be excess cholesterol produced. And magnesium does other good things for our lipids. And then we talk about 18 human studies verifying that magnesium will lower high lipid levels. It will not lower good lipid levels. So it's a balancer. And then the heart rhythm issues plaguing so many people. I was looking at the testimonials Jennifer sent me for today, and they're mostly about AFib. It's the most commonly diagnosed heart arrhythmia, reaching epidemic proportions. And it's partly because doctors are looking for it. I mean, you're slapping Apple watches on your wrist to diagnose AFib, for Pete's sakes. And it went epidemic, especially when they produced new blood thinners, because the treatment of when you have AFib is to give you a blood thinner. And with the new blood thinners, it's look at all the extra AFib we have now. So in the US, AFib hospitalizations increased by 23% between 2000 and 2010. In 2010, there were about 5.2 million people with AFib. That number is expected to escalate to 12.1 million cases in 2030. So there we have it. There we have it. And Ginny ends the blog with a person. Do I have a name here? Dan, who says, "Hi, Dr. Dean. 3 months ago, I was diagnosed with atrial fibrillation by my general practitioner. I'm not on drugs yet, and I have been referred to a highly reputable cardiologist here in Northern California, who has me wearing a heart monitor for 2 weeks to see what's going on with the AFib. I'm having to wait 2 months to meet with him to get the results and what he wants to do for treatment. In the meantime, I found your booklet on AFib, very encouraging to read. Started Remag, noticed the heart palpitations are less and not at all on some days. So that's 2 weeks. I have had the RBC blood magnesium test, and my magnesium was low. I also had a cardiac ultrasound, and my heart is normal. I'm grateful to be making progress with Remag." So the booklet that Dan's referring to is now called Heart Health, and it's a free download at drcarolyndeanlive.com. And just another comment, our dear producer, Rebecca, was just telling us before the show started that her recent encounter with someone who claimed to be her doctor, sarcasm accentuated there, not really caring about how good she felt or her weight loss, her blood pressure down, every other good thing happening to her. He wanted to show her how bad she was doing. He said her pulse was too slow and she had fatty liver, high blood sugar, and told her that she needed to get a lot of tests and some more drugs, which she was getting off. So I suggested intermittent fasting. If you have fatty liver, it means you're building up fat in your liver. For one thing, you're also building up glycogen stores. And when you do intermittent fasting, which basically means you're giving yourself many hours between meals, or some people will, like I do, I won't eat past 7 and I don't eat the next day until around 2. Or some people will eat breakfast and lunch and not eat after 2 until the next morning. And that puts your body into fat burning instead of sugar burning and carb burning. And that will start to burn off the fat in your liver and elsewhere. So anyway, Ginny, I think I'll stop there. We have 2 heart blog questions. We have a ton of testimonials, but I'll turn it over to you to get to our chat and our phones.
Okay, very good. Now, one thing that's happening that's very exciting is Deborah here at Dream Vision 7 Radio is offering a copy of the Magnesium Miracle and a bottle of Remag as a giveaway this month of September. If you go to the website and under newsletters and giveaways, you just register to win that. And the little square box in the middle of the page is register to win. And all you have to do is join their email list. So it's right in the middle, top of the page, but you'll see you can win a bottle of Remag and the Magnesium Miracle book, which, as we were talking about earlier, supporting friends and family, always good to have these two paired up together when you're trying to talk to anybody about the valuable role of magnesium in their health. And a lot of people, again, knowing the heart health topic, know people who struggle with high blood pressure, cholesterol, anything cardiovascular. Magnesium is just going to be a tremendous asset. And to also Rachel telling us earlier that the doctor's saying that she should take CoQ10, but you don't have to take CoQ10 if you're taking Remag because it's a natural statin. And CoQ10 is usually given to people who are stripping their
Mm.
body of essential nutrients when they're taking statins. Is that right, Carolyn?
Yes, yes, exactly. What URL are you talking about, Jenny, for people to go to?
Oh, I'm
I'm not-
sorry. You go to the Dream Vision 7. So it's Dream Vision number 7 radio.com, Dream Visions number 7 radio.com. And then across the top, you'll see in the red banner, the third link over says newsletters and giveaways. And now I'll put that on the chat here at YouTube, and then also on the channel. So you can just go there and sign up, and you'll automatically be included in the contest, and we will announce a winner. We had one in August and we're doing it again. So very, very fun.
I'm not kidding. Maybe my internet is down. Dreamvision7radio.com.
Dream Visions 7.
Visions.
Visions.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Very good. So,
okay.
Yep.
What else do we do now?
And then let's go through the chat line. I will just say everybody's here tonight: Sherry and Alan and Elma and Belinda and Patrick and Maria and all of our good friends, Carol. And of course, Doug is here with us. Newark Television is here with us. Pauline's here with us. So everybody's here. Patrick wanted everybody to know that there's an app he has on his phone called D-Minder, D-M-I-N-D-E-R. Instead of get it Reminder, it's a D-Minder. And this is connected with Grassroots Health. It will show you the best time for you to be outside and also help you get to enough vitamin D. So I have it on my phone. I do use it. It also has got a reminder on it to say, have you taken your vitamin D supplement today? So, and then you can use it when you go out, and you can measure exactly how much vitamin D you're getting from your altitude and your latitude. So that's very clarifying for people, because some people think they go out for 15 minutes and put their face in the sun, and that's not exactly it. You've got to have full body exposure, at least 50%, to really get your skin in the game as much as your eyes. So that's all there for you in that D-Minder. Belinda wanted to know what other methods there are to test the vitamin D besides the finger prick, because her husband's blood was too thick to get any drops out. And I guess she probably didn't want to take his finger off. So,
well, yes, you can certainly go to a lab and get it done if you don't want to pay the whatever $50 to $100 copay to ask for vitamin D tests from these silly doctors. You can go to the online companies. What's the one we recommend, Jenny?
There's one called Request a Test.
Yeah.
That's where you pay for it online and you walk into a LabCorp lab, and they'll show you which lab to go to. There's also another place called Any Lab Test Now. Those are popular in the South, and I know Belinda lives in the South, so you could go to Any Lab Test Now also. And but usually places that are doing Any Lab Test Now, those kind of places, they're doing the employment screening, drug testing, and that kind of thing. They're pretty popular these days.
And what you would do first, Belinda, is go to Grassroots Health and find out what tests they recommend, because I see it Request a Test. They have 3-4 different D tests, and people are just getting so complexified. So go to grassrootshealth.net and just type in vitamin D testing, because all their tests are based on the what we used to call the storage vitamin D, which is not the so-called active vitamin D. You need magnesium to turn your storage vitamin D into active. But what the more recent research is showing, that all the vitamin Ds are doing things. They kind of really mess people up by calling one inactive and the other active. So just find out what Grassroots Health is recommending as a test, because all their information, like their decalculator, is based on the storage test.
Very good. Also, let me say, I left out the fact, Carolyn, earlier, and I do apologize, that Nancy M., our very longstanding, probably one of our most original radio show listeners, is with us. She always types into me on the other chat line. And also Lorraine is here from Canada. Hello, Lorraine. So we've got the whole crew here tonight. Very, very
do you want to give us an update on Canadian accessibility to our formulas?
We are working it all out. We are getting Lorraine a special page on her website and all kinds of other bells and whistles, and we're getting it all situated for her. So anybody in Canada will be able to order. It will get her where she needs to be. We're going to ship it for her for the time being, because Health Canada is in a little bit of a quagmire with themselves. And Lorraine will be able to provide all the service. So we're dealing with all the details. Now, she's got lots of Remag up there right now that she's ready to sell. And that's always at the True Health Canada reset.truehealthcanada.ca. So you can
say that again. It was too many words.
Oh, sorry. It's I think it's reset.truehealthcanada.ca. reset.truehealthcanada.ca. That's the right one. I'm doing it from memory now. Yes, it is. I'll put that in the chat line too. So that's where you can get your Remag right now. And then, but if you needed the other products, she can't ship those right this second, but we're going to get it all organized. So it'll all be taken care of. So that's what we're doing. And pretty soon she's going to be cooking with major gasoline, major gas.
Great. Yeah. I mean, I was ready to give up on Canada. I mean, seriously, I do not have patience for things that don't flow perfectly, I must say. But Ginny and Lorraine said, nope, we'll take care of it. We'll do it.
Yes. Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Lorraine's really one who said, no, we will fight. She sounded like Winston Churchill. Remember, we will fight in the Callies, and we'll fight here, we'll fight there. So she's very inspired. She's a true trooper, and she understands the value of natural health. And when you give an inch, they'll take a mile. So you can't give them that inch.
No, you have to. Yeah. I mean, when I think of what the British went through in England with the constantly being bombed during World War II, what did they do? You know, they were sitting around in the pubs and drinking, and then the air raid sirens would start and they'd scatter and go into the bomb shelters. They were out living their lives. You know, they didn't, sit at home for a year and a half being afraid of a virus that was overblown to us. That, you know, we have the ability to prevent and treat. Yeah, I as you can tell, I'm pretty worked up about this. This has gone beyond the pale. Beyond the pale. I'm seriously, I'm talking to the angels tomorrow morning on my walk. This has got to end.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's and everybody who's in that position, you just use your spiritual gifts. That's what spiritual gifts are for. And you've got to reach up into the heavens and pull it down, because it's silly, super silly. Yeah. All righty. So I think we're all caught up on our correspondence on the chat line. Deborah sent me a text and said, I know everybody's upset, but no expletives.
What did I only had one. It could have been worse. Could have been worse, Deborah. Could have been a lot worse. I know these words now. Before I became a god, I was a Baptist and I wasn't allowed to swear, but now I can swear.
There you go. Very good. Very good. That's awesome. All
so
righty.
we got 2 minutes. Let me quickly say, whose is this? Perry says, I was diagnosed with AFib over 18 months ago, went on metoprolol and then on your Remag. After a few weeks, I got off the drug, continued the Remag. So 18 months ago. A few weeks ago, I had a terribly irregular heartbeat that scared me, called my doctor, went back on medication, continued the magnesium. I don't want to be on meds. How much magnesium should I be taking? I added your calcium, potassium, Remite to the mix. And thank you. So this is where someone should be calling up customer service, telling us how much they're taking and what they were doing to get into an irregular heartbeat. Reading the heart health book and seeing what triggered that. Is it a one-time event that caused your heartbeat to become elevated, that then when you know it, you think, oh, okay, I'll just continue my Remag. And for me, it would be like 2-3 teaspoons of Remag, 1 to 2 teaspoons of potassium, 1.5 teaspoons of Remite, and maybe some of our other products, vitamin D, for example. So there's a lot that we can help people with if they call our customer service. And someone else quickly said, can magnesium results be in a normal range, even on an RBC test, and actually still be low intracellular? Absolutely. And can this result in arrhythmias in the cardiac muscle? And can potassium be likewise? Yes, absolutely. The testing is not for optimal function. The testing is just the average of the very sick, deficient population. That is, this whole system is created by very stupid people that haven't got a clue about how to stay healthy. They are being instructed by the pharmacological model that wants you to be as sick as possible, but not quite dead, so that you can take lots of drugs. That's it. That's what we're living in, folks.
Yeah.
And don't get used to it. Do not get used to this.
Yeah, really. Don't get used to it. Yes, absolutely. No complacency. You really got to guard your own heart and your own mind and protect your own body 100%. Now, we're going to take phone calls at the top of the next hour. So 646-558-8657 is the number. Again, it's on all of our literature and on the chat line at YouTube and all the rest. So get by the phone, get your calls in. We've got some raised hands, and we'll come back and we'll get Dr. Dean talking with the brethren.
and the sister.
That's right.
No, a sister, that's a water holder. Sorry, ladies. See you soon. See you on the other side.
Very good.
We'll be back with Hour 2 of the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with host Ginny Sanders, right after this brief station break. You can also get updates and resources online by visiting drcarolyndean.com. That's drcarolyndean.com.
Did you know there are 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency? Magnesium deficiency is a public health crisis growing in scope and proportion. Dr. Carolyn Dean, author of The Magnesium Miracle, has identified over 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency, 100 factors that lead to magnesium deficiency, and 24 reasons why magnesium deficiency occurs. Order The Magnesium Miracle today at Amazon.com and learn how to remedy this pervasive condition.
Do you have questions about your health? Are you wondering about alternatives? Do you ever wish you could have 5 minutes with a doctor you can trust? Someone who is an internationally recognized authority in the field of natural medicine? Meet award-winning doctor, naturopath, and best-selling author of The Magnesium Miracle, Carolyn Dean, MD, ND. Hear a wealth of information designed to empower listeners and callers to discover how to improve health, vitality, and well-being through a variety of safe strategies and nutritional options. Dr. Carolyn Dean Live. Shows can be heard every Monday, 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern, with weekly live shows, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network.
Natural health, vitality, and well-being. Yes, everyone wants it, but not everyone is sure how to achieve it. Dr. Carolyn Dean's Completement Formulas are more than just dietary supplements. They're whole foods and picometer minerals designed to complete your nutrition, not just supplement it. Experience the difference Dr. Dean's formulas make. Visit RNAreset.com to learn more. That's RNARESET.com.
Omega Institute, offering workshops, retreats, and online learning dedicated to awakening the best in the human spirit. With more than 40 years at the forefront of holistic studies, Omega is known the world over as a trusted source for integrated approaches to personal growth and social change. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org or call 877-944-2002. Again, 877-944-2002.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Return now to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders. Phone lines are open during live broadcast.
Our wonderful producer Rachel, who finally figured out the children. And welcome back, everybody. Hour 2. So glad to be with you this Monday evening and all Mondays. Just a reminder, if you're tuning into the show through any of our podcasting systems or through YouTube or any of our recorded archives, just know that if you hear something in the show that you need to have clarification on, and Dr. Dean's not here to ask you personally, then you can email us at questions, questions, at drcarolyndeanlive.com. That's questions at drcarolyndeanlive.com. And the beautiful Melody Rose, who is wonderful in every way, will get your email and she will sort it all out with you, for you, with Dr. Dean and whatever else you need to know. So always avail yourself of that resource. And of course, all of our archives are at drcarolyndeanlive.com. the radio show is a wonderful website, and all kinds of archives. And if you're ever feeling down or blue or sad, all you have to do is go on there and pick a random archive and just download it and start to listen, and you'll immediately be inspired by how durable our bodies are and how committed we are and we can be to walking with you in your health journey, as we have always been. So, Carolyn, I'm going to tell one of my favorite stories about Carolyn right now. Speaking of walking on a health journey, I remember hearing, and speaking of archives, I heard Carolyn on a radio show, the Alan Steinfeld show in 2013. And she was talking about her time working in her practice in Toronto, way back in the day when she would run her clinic, and then she would schedule, her day off was Wednesdays, and people who did need surgery for whatever reason, she would schedule their surgeries for Wednesday. So she herself could go to the hospital and sit in the surgical theater and watch the surgery to make sure it was done properly. And I heard that and I thought, oh my Lord, I mean, what an extraordinary human who wants to actually sit in there and watch somebody's surgery and make sure that it's done well, because she took that level of responsibility for her patients, that she would even extend her influence beyond her own ability into the sphere of other people's performance. And I just thought that was extraordinary. You have a beautiful, beautiful woman here with you this evening that you can talk to if you need to. So we're taking calls again, 646-558-8657. And feel free to avail yourself. Of course, she can't give you any medical advice, as we already know, but she's fun to talk to for sure.
And Ginny, let me just say, nobody sits in surgery. And they had to get me a stool so I could stand up and see over the top of the patient.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I imagine you sitting in like a surgical theater like they used to do on Marcus Welby. So
No.
You're saying, no, you had to stand in there with all the blood gushing everywhere and everything?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. If I didn't have my mindset on natural medicine and nutritional medicine before going into med school, I could have been convinced to be a surgeon because, that's, very dynamic. You have results. And I was, being a girl back then, I knew how to sew. So I was the best closer, because I could manipulate the stitching. So yeah, it was interesting times. But it just reminded me one time when I was in there, all of a sudden I had like a 30-minute flu attack. I went pale. I got felt sick. I told whoever was what needed to know that I had to go out. I went out to the restroom, threw up, had stuff come out the other end, cleaned up, and came back into the surgery. That's what we did. Oh my gosh. That's how we lived.
Gosh.
Yeah, that's how we lived. So, who knows how many people I infected by doing that, but that's yeah.
We laugh, but it's silly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's incredible. Yeah. Well, medicine certainly has changed, right? My goodness.
Yeah. It's gotten so kind of technical and tech-based. They depend on machines and so many things. Bob's come up to me. What do you have to say, Bob?
They switched the signs. It's not medicine anymore. It's a military operation. Not even an operation. It's a military endeavor.
Catastrophe. A military catastrophe.
Basically assassination.
It's an assassination attempt. Oh yeah, I've given up on medicine. They're beyond the pale. Some of the nurses are speaking up, but see, the doctors are not going to speak up.
Mm-mm.
They're, depending on how many years they're out of school, they've got huge debts.
Mhm.
They put their lives off for 6, 8, 10 years, and in all those years they take out huge loans that then they have to pay back, and on and on and on. I mean, it's a bad situation where doctors are so compromised on all levels that they're not going to speak out and say what's true and real. And for everything you hear positive about a health protocol, you hear the other half is negative. So it's a 50-50 world where you really don't know what side to be on. So you have to be on your own side. You have to make your own decision now. Everything you look at now, you have to think of it as fake first, and then you go from there. And does it feel right, or what? This is where people have to take responsibility. I mean, gone are the times when you can go into a doctor and expect to get the facts about what you should do or be or have. You have to know who you are and what you want.
That's exactly right. And be yep, absolutely. And if you value life, I had a situation, many years ago where I was given this book. It was called Kitchen Table Wisdom. It was written by a doctor. She was a oncologist.
Right.
And
I know it.
You know the book I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
What an amazing book, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was incredibly beautiful. As she was an oncologist, and she started to try to discern why some people were able to survive cancer and other people weren't.
Mm-hmm.
And her understanding became that it was people's relationship to life and how they actually felt about living was at the core of that. And I remember at the time, it was 2006, and I thought to myself, I have a relationship with Jesus. I have a relationship with my friends and family and all these other things, but I did not, in my mind, have a relationship with quote unquote life. I hadn't isolated it like that and said, hello, life. Nice to meet you. And so I began developing the relationship with life and started asking life to teach me what it was and what I should be in relationship to understand that bond that I had with it.
Right.
And of course, very quickly after that is when I came to know Ion, and of course you and natural health and all
and you
things
met
of
me.
nature.
You met me.
Bob, and I met Bob. And it was all part of my understanding of what is life, that life force energy.
Yeah, I didn't mean to laugh, but Bob came and leaned over me eating an ice cream. Is that an ice cream?
Bread.
Oh, it's bread. Oh, it's got so much butter on it. I thought it was ice cream. Okay, yes. Rachel Naomi Remen wrote Kitchen Table Wisdom. I remember reading it. I'm on Amazon right now. And the words are, I guess she's saying, despite the awesome powers of technology, many of us still do not live very well. We may need to listen to one another's stories again. Dr. Remen, whose unique perspective on healing comes from her background as a physician, professor of medicine, therapist, long-term survivor of chronic illness, invites us to listen from the soul. So yeah, I mean, it's very important. And I've read all those books. I did all those things over the years, but it seriously was not until I found some to make the stabilized ionic minerals that it became all possible. Because you can have all these thoughts about soul and oh, the world is wonderful, and put white light around everything. But if you're aching and have a chronic problem, it's pretty tough to maintain your an emotional positivity. So for me, it's getting the mind, body, and spirit. So our formulas are very important for the physical, and they'll also affect the mind, and then the emotional stuff too. The emotions kick in when you're suffering, and the emotions kick in when you're happy as well. But if you are not suffering, then your emotions are stable. It's just obvious.
Yeah, very, very cool. Okay, Deborah reminded me, Deborah, our radio show producer, hostess lady, reminded me that we also have a way for you guys to win the formulas. I don't know if you guys know about that, but we do have the Living the Lifestyle contest, where you can share your pictures or your posts on social media, on Facebook, and then qualify to win the formulas. So I put the tag in there on the YouTube right here. It's rnareset.com/pages/lifestyle-living for those who are listening to the archive, or just email support at customer service and they'll send you the link and the instructions on how you can do that too. So that's very nice because they can win a whole bundle. And so they get the Remag, the vitamin C Realign, and the D3. So that's an excellent opportunity to get some free products for tagging us on a post.
Awesome. Yep. Yeah, we're doing all we can, people.
We're doing all we can. Okay, let's take some phone calls. I think we can. If you're on the line and you want to talk to Dr. Dean tonight, you've got to hit *9. *9 on the keypad will raise your hand and put you in to the queue to talk to Dr. Dean. And we'll start with area code 917. 917, if you hit *6 on your phone, 917, and we'll bring you into the conversation. Hello.
Hey, Ginny. Hi, Dr. Dean.
Oh, hello. Welcome back.
I'm always on. Dr. Dean.
Yes.
Question before we start. Can you repeat what you said before, because of my ADHD, about the 20% and the enzyme and the 80%? What you said, it just flew, went over my head. Can you repeat it, please?
Yes, it wasn't quite. I didn't say it properly, David. So when I found out from a Dr. Workinger, Workinger, and his research on magnesium, he wrote a paper, and he said that 80% of known metabolic functions require magnesium. So then I looked up, I just Googled, I Googled number of enzymes in the body. And at that time
Yeah. Go ahead.
At that time, it came up something like under 2,000. And so when I multiplied that by 80%, I got the 1,000. And that's where I said, oh, it's 80% of known metabolic functions. But that was just my kitchen sink mathematics.
Okay.
So that was it.
Now I understand it. I understand it now. Dr. Dean, I know this is going to sound a little crazy, but would you recommend people to get exposed to the coronavirus?
Well, yes, I think I would.
Yes.
That's what we did in my practice. The children would have a measles party or a chickenpox party, so that they could get the natural immunity. I mean, we all knew that was the strongest way to support the immune system. But I'm sure if that recommendation went out to the media, I'd be castigated.
They'll kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they say the FDA will knock on your door, even though you live in Hawaii.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not protected. Yes.
Yeah.
Dr. Dean, question: you were talking about the corona at the opening. My question is, are we dangerous with all the crazy thing of you being cut off material for your formula?
Well,
Because
like
they know the effect of your formula. They know. It's not that
right.
they don't know. They know.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
we are I mean, where we used to be able to get an order of whatever 20,000 units of a product within 6 to 8 weeks. Now it's 16 weeks. So the supply chain is very bad, and that's why I tripled my inventory. So what we do from here is we know the extended time will never be out of our formulas, and we are also protected, David. We are protected.
So should we? We should triple our inventory too.
Say that again, David.
I said, so should we triple our inventory too?
Triple your inventory. Yes, you're right. You're right. I mean, we're not trying to scare people and say, oh, you have to get more, but we do say it in other ways, like double what you're taking. So yes, you're perfectly right. We don't, if the truckers go on strike to make a point, we aren't going to be able to be shipping, and that causes a backup. Everything in our world, if you look around, even when I'm over on the mainland and travel on these highways, with 12 lanes, I'm amazed at the way our world works so seamlessly. That can be undone, by a few, nefarious acts. Yeah, any day. I mean, you live in New York, right, David? Or is it over in in the Bronx or whatever? I mean, look what we went through at 9/11. It disrupted everything for a year. It was amazing.
Yeah. Well, okay. Thank you very much, doctor. That's what I want to know.
Oh, thank you, David. Good points to bring up. I'm sure people were thinking of that. Thank you. And, God bless.
Good night.
God bless. Yeah,
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Excellent. Very good. Good questions. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very
Oh, yeah.
nice.
David's great. I mean, he's just so, well, he thinks on many levels, and he apparently he told us last year sometime that he and his wife got COVID, and they doubled up things. They found a doctor to give IV vitamin C, and they did very well, and now they have natural immunity.
Yep. And they were in Israel at the time, remember?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think that was true. Yeah. Okay, where do we go from here?
Okay, let's see. Who else do we have on the phone here? At 646-558-8657. Again, if you're on the line, you've got to hit *9 to raise your hand. I see callers, but I don't see raised hands. So if you're here on the phone, you want to talk to Dr. Dean, you've got to raise your hand. Otherwise, your phone will remain on mute and we won't be able to access your amazing and compelling questions. So right now we don't have any callers, Carolyn, so let's press on.
Yes, we have a number of heart testimonials. Now, the first one is a bit long, but it's very instructive. This woman, her name, Saron, says, I'm in my 20s. I'm now 60. I suffered an irregular heartbeat. It was just uncomfortable, not life-threatening. And my ankles were swelling by the end of the day. So in my 20s, my doctor put me on metoprolol. So that's been, look how long that drug's been around. They just give everybody metoprolol, which is a beta blocker, which is supposed to slow down your heart rate, and Lasix, which is the strongest diuretic known to humans for the ankle swelling. And she said I could go on and on about the side effects, dehydrating me, and of course it was depleting my magnesium. And she said just before I learned about Remag and Remite, I was having worsening swelling in my ankles and was going to call my doctor about it, and he would probably just increase my Lasix. So just before that, I was introduced to Remag Remite by my personal trainer. Thank you, personal trainer. I started taking both in 32 ounces of water. And let me just sidebar here. I think over the years I've said, put your minerals in 16 ounces of water, sip it through the day with your berry powder. But 32 ounces makes more sense, because when you put it in 32 ounces and a scoop of vitamin C reset and, up to, 8 teaspoons of your different minerals, you do not taste them. You absolutely do not taste them. For a while, Ginny, I was just doing my 16 ounces with the scoop and my 8 teaspoons of minerals, and I could still taste them a bit. 32 ounces is great. And by using 32 ounces, you're getting, a good chunk of your daily water intake. Okay, so then Saron goes on. After about a week on Remag Remite, I took myself off my morning dose of metoprolol and felt no irregular heartbeat. This was unheard of. So then she goes on, and then her swelling went away and stopped her second dose and had no more irregular heartbeats. So she's been using the Remag and Remite since the end of June 2021. So it's just June, July, August. So just a couple of months and still no symptoms. And she felt she'd been very dehydrated. So again, we tell people while you're waiting for your first formulas to come, start drinking more water and put a little sea salt in it. So she's doing that. She's sleeping better. And then she gives some more description of the side effects with the medications that she was taking, over the 40 years. So she said, bottom line is I started both Remag, Remite, and they have changed my life. I do not want to sound dramatic, but the side effects from medications, which are many, was a combination of being dehydrated, because she was using this strong diuretic. It was squeezing out her liquid. They think that's the treatment for blood pressure or whatever. She didn't even have high blood pressure. But the edema, they thought they just squeeze it out, but it meant her cells weren't being saturated with fluids or minerals. She said, yes, a perfect storm for depletion in magnesium. I've been telling everyone I know about my story. Thank you, Dr. Dean, for thinking out of the box. And awesome. So that's beautiful. Ginny, that was Joan. I'm sorry. That was Joan with all those words. Ginny, anyone to go to, or will I continue?
Yep, we've got some callers. So let me go to area code 808. Isn't that Hawaii?
It's
808.
Hawaii.
All righty. *6 your phone, 808, and come on in to the party. Area code 808. *6.
I
Okay.
wonder if it's Lisa. Is it Lisa?
It's me.
It
is.
It's Lisa, just down the street. Hi, Lisa. You could have come by and asked me the question. But yes, it's wonderful to have you on the show,
Well,
just like old times.
It is like old times. I know. Well, I kind of try to stay in the background, because I got you in my hip pocket. But I had to call in today because I was so moved by your opening dialogue, monologue, however you want to call it. It really touched my heart, almost got me teary-eyed because, I keep seeing so many people suffering through this. And, I had my own health challenges where, I was doing everything that the medical community said to do, and I was getting sicker and sicker. And they were saying, oh, let's do this and let's do that. And let's get to this mammography. And it was just, anytime I said anything like, well, could it be the calcium pills that I'm taking that might be causing these calcifications? They were like, no, in fact, take more of that. And, you start to get this intuition that, it's not right. I got calcium buildup and I'm taking calcium pills, and yet, they're telling me to still take it, and it was by not taking it and starting your magnesium that actually dissolved all the calcium deposits. When I went back 6 months for a recheck, everything was gone. There was no calcium deposits left.
And this was breast tissue calcification.
It was. And,
right.
And again, you just keep hearing people, going into these hospitals. Someone went in with pneumonia, and the first thing they're doing is putting a pneumonia, and they check their oximeter, or, their oxygen in their finger, and their oxygen's low. And then they're putting a mask on them, because they have COVID. And then they're not covered with, their gowns and their hats and their masks. But the minute someone gets tested and comes back positive for COVID, now all of a sudden they run out and put all the hazmat on. And then they tell even the people that you've been with, living with, sleeping with, to do the same thing. So I just keep seeing the humanity of people and the non-compassion. And you spoke to it, that, we really need to get back to humanity and compassion and really caring about people. We seem to have gone so far from it.
Right. The fear of people, as if, a breath can kill us, or as if a child can kill their grandmother. These words are being spoken that just are so scary and so divisive. It is inhumane.
Yeah, and it's funny, we're making a big move in our lives. So of course I'm probably emotional from that, but I'm as we're going through things in our home, I have 2 years worth of supplies of your supplements in a cabinet out there. Because that's how important your supplements have been to me, and how healing they've been for me, and how both of us, just feel there's just no way we could live without them. And so I stocked up, getting ready for, who knows if Armageddon's coming. And then now that we have the opportunity to share it with other people out there and say to them, hey, we got these supplements here, take them, buy them. And trust me, if you take these supplements, you're going to be okay. Like I certainly feel like that one caller called in and said, should we expose ourselves? And I would love to expose myself to it, And, but when you're on your products, I'm not washing my hands. I have to tell you, I'm not using the gels, and I'm not using the, I'm handling money, and I'm dealing with food, and I'm dealing with people all day long. And I don't have any fear. Even if I were to touch my eyes or touch my face, I still am not afraid of any of this stuff. And so many of us are living like that daily and not getting sick. And even if we do get sick, it's a cold or a sore throat, it's something minor. So, and it seems like the people who are living more in fear are the ones coming down with more severe stuff.
Right, but, right. The fear, makes them vulnerable. Yeah, Lisa and Christy and I work at the farmers market twice a week, and it seems to be mostly young people coming up with their masks on. I just don't get it. Have they been made to be feel guilty that the youth are spreading the Delta virus now? I don't know. It just boggles me. We used to tell people, oh, you don't have to wear your mask, and some people got kind of annoyed because we're outdoors, and like Ginny says, the UV radiation, especially in Maui. The sun is just zapping anything around us. People don't get sick in Maui. And Bob's hovering over me. Did you want to say hi to Lisa?
No, and it's what, tell her something.
Tell her something.
First of all, the millennials and younger are bubble kids. They've lived in antiseptic nonsense environments in the West for all their youth, so they're oversensitive to everything. But you say we need to get back to compassionate. As long as we have this technological speed up, which Marshall McLuhan writes about, we're not going to get it. You got to figure, if that's to give you the why people are not able to be on a human scale anymore. Okay? It's because of the technological environment. So point that out to people so they're aware of the cause. Then they can figure out how to relax and have compassion. But the technology is going to undermine us constantly.
Yeah, we can tell people, look, you're more in love with your cell phone than you are me. Stay away from that cell phone.
That's actually excellent.
Yeah.
Yes, that's excellent. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
And if I could just end with one last comment, here I've came across your products like probably 10 years ago when they first launched, and immediately got on them and immediately felt the difference. And so for 10 years now, or 11 years, I've been, constantly taking this and reaping the benefits. And then you come across people who come up to you because you're not vaccinated, one being my brother, and not wanting to come near me and putting his mask on to give me a hug goodbye, and putting out his elbow when I first got to see him. And so it's amazing that I am looked at as dirty, even though I'm the one doing everything I can to take care of my health. And they're the ones who put a shot in their arm to do everything and not worrying about anything else.
Right.
So it's
it's
an interesting time.
The upside down world, really. Everything we know to be, we thought we knew to be true, is the opposite.
Yeah.
And we know that, well, that's great, Lisa, for you to bring that up, because everybody's feeling what you're saying, and just to know that we're in an upside down world. So try to be detached from it. Know that you have to question everything now, but that you can take care of your health, and that is, 100% the most important thing is to stay healthy.
Stay healthy, but again, without your products, I don't know that I would feel this confident. And
right.
And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of it, and that's why I haven't lived in any fear since being on them, and of course listening to your calls, and now listening to Bob's show. So we, it just reiterates, that we are our own gods and we can take care of ourselves. So that grateful to have both of you and Ginny in my life, and to be able to call in now and be part of this it's great. I just wanted to say hi. And
thank you, sweetie. I'll give you 2 hugs the next time I see you.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Lisa.
Bye, Ginny. Hugs to you too.
Thanks, Lisa. Bye. I can't wait to see you again. Well, one thing Lisa's brother should have been doing instead of giving her the elbow is he should have been standing there trying to shut his mouth, because looks like she's about 13. I mean, I don't know her true age, but she is very youthful as a result of using these formulas. And I think that's one thing that happens for people is they're very shocked when they find out how old some of us are. Not me necessarily. Greg is another one. Well, I'm just saying, it doesn't matter, but Greg is another one that people always mistake him and his age because he's so youthful. I'm youthful, but silly. But I think that it really is amazing to see if you keep that supply of nutrients in your body at all time, it really does hold the longevity and the youthfulness of your body in an amazing way.
Right. Yes, and when I said stay healthy, it's true. I should give the rest of the sentence by using our products, because seriously, we all have heard, and most of us who take them know that we've tried dozens and dozens of products in the past, and nothing works like these do. You don't feel other products the way you feel these. So they're working for you, and so you can rest assured that you are being taken care of.
I didn't get a chance to tell you that I met for the first time one of our customers who is the person that has Lou Gehrig's.
Ah,
He was at the wedding.
oh my goodness. Wow.
Yes. And he slowed his Lou Gehrig's progression by using Remag and Realign.
Mhm.
And he told me that when he started doing that, it opened up a whole nother world to him. He'd never
Oh.
paid any attention to his diet. He didn't know anything about his body. He didn't understand anything about anything. And he's actually quite avid now. And, his wife is the CEO of a hospital. And so she's having to evaluate the medical model that they're under and prescribing things when she's watching this market difference using supplementation. And now he's on the vitamin D in in their life. I mean, he's not using their drugs.
Wow.
He's not. So, you have the pronounced, you have all views, I guess, we've got the long-term view, because a lot of us have been doing this for a long time. Then we've got the short-term view. We've got the radical view of what happens, say, with a person like a diagnosis of ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and then they start taking Remag and Realign, and they retarded the progression of that disease and bought them a window of timing so that they could really get their footing and try to figure out what in the heck was happening to their body, and then start to make even more dramatic changes. So that bought them some time. So what could we say about the formulas? It seems like they add time back in our eternalness.
Yeah, they slow things down, and that's very true. When you even just add the Remag, it makes you're sleeping better, you have more energy, your muscles aren't hurting, and it allows you to do more, and you're out in the world, you're able to exercise, you're maybe working more, working harder, you're making more money. I mean, it just from Remag, your world changes. And remember, years ago we did a survey and we asked people, are you saving money with your products? Are you taking less other supplements? And people would say, yeah, I'm taking less supplements, I'm not smoking anymore, I'm not drinking as much alcohol at all, I don't feel the need to go out and party and do restaurants, and I don't have to go to my chiropractor every week, and I on and on and on. And people were adding up the cost benefit ratio of what they were doing, and it was pretty eye-opening.
Yeah, very, very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Life is good. Okay, let me look on the chat line here. If you are on the phone, we've got about another few minutes here before the top of the hour. So you've got to hit *9 on your keypad to let us know you've got a question or comment, and then we'll put you on with Dr. Dean. So I do have a raised hand that just came in, Carolyn, and then let me also check on our chat line. Somebody's asking about, is magnesium good for blockage lymphatic system?
If the blockage is caused by some sort of calcification, then the magnesium does solubilize calcium. But blocked lymphatics, I mean, that's a huge ball of wax there. Don't know if you're talking about cellulitis or edema, but that would be, dehydration could be a problem, lack of exercise, because your lymphatic system works when your muscles are moving. It's not a it's not a pump like your heart, but it relies on the movement of the muscles. So it's too general a question, but I mean, seriously, magnesium helps everything. But dehydration is important for cause of lymphatic problems.
And then magnesium citrate or magnesium chloride. And of course, Remag is based in magnesium chloride. So we have to go with chloride.
Yes, absolutely. Uh-oh, I just broke my favorite reader glasses.
Okay, no more reading for Carolyn.
Take
All
that.
right, let's
throw them on the floor and I
All
grab
right.
my next pair.
Very good. All right, a couple phone calls stacking up here. Let's go to area code 731. 731, if you could hit *6 on your keypad and unmute your phone. Very good. Welcome to the call. To whom are we speaking?
It's Priscilla.
Oh, Priscilla, how are you?
It's better from the last time I talked to you.
Oh, thank goodness you didn't add on another condition. Oh my gosh.
No,
So-
it's we ended up doing some more testing to get rid of the COVID out of the thyroid, and it have leveled out. I mean, not completely, but the doctor has hopes that we can eventually get off the thyroid meds.
Oh, good. Oh, that's wonderful. Wow.
I'm
And
very,
then-
very thankful.
Yeah. Oh, good for
I
you.
told him what I'm taking, and he said it's an excellent program.
Oh.
So anyway, I was wondering how your Remag lotion is coming along.
Oh, gosh, Ginny, do we have any of the strong stuff? Are you out of it, Priscilla?
Am I what?
Are you
I'm out of it, yes. Yes.
Ginny, do we have any of the strong stuff left for Priscilla?
I have, it's so hilarious. I was just going through something in my own home and I found like 3 bottles today, Priscilla, that I had scullied away for some reason, apparently for you. So I can take them to the warehouse. Just email customer service for me.
I don't have email.
Oh, you don't? Oh.
No.
Well, phone in, phone in and leave a message with your address and say you're impatiently waiting for the Remag lotion that Ginny is supposed to send you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, call in and I will get taken care of tomorrow. No problem.
All right. Thank you.
We will do it. You're welcome, love. You are so welcome.
Anything else?
No, I was just like, I wonder when that's coming in. I wonder when it's coming.
Oh, look, you have no idea of how many. Anyway, we won't talk about because Deborah, the owner of the station, said I'm not allowed to swear anymore. So we'll just.
I don't want you to swear.
No. Okay, sweetheart, you will get your Remag lotion and you will survive.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome. Love.
You're
All
welcome.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, let's go to area code 434. 434, if you could hit *6 on your phone. 434. All right, we've got 7 minutes. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Hi, this is Sherry. I was just wondering if there's something I can dilute my RNA drops. My refrigerator is older and the control doesn't work very well anymore. It doesn't seem to be too cold for most other things, but my RNA drops are just not, they're so thick that I can hardly shake them, and I can't really use the dropper with them.
Well, I mean, water will do. If you don't want to use tap water, you can boil water, or use spring water, or filtered water. Water's fine.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, I do have a Brookie water filter, and that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I got a bug bite on my nose, and it was kind of a red welt. And I just intuitively came in and went into the refrigerator and got some RNA drops. I took the stopper out and just rubbed my finger across the glass and put it on there, and it was gone in no time.
Wow. Yeah, that stuff is pretty amazing. Well, that's good. That's a good testimonial. So yes, just dilute it up with water and it'll last forever.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, Sherry, thanks for your question. Bye-bye.
I want to say, Carolyn, I'm getting excited about your men's health book.
Yeah, they finally talked me into writing about men's health because I only write about things I know about. And I've never been a man. I never want to be. I was a tomboy. I mean, that's as close as I got. I suppose back then I would have identified and been transed out of myself if I'd kept doing my tomboy things. But boy, that got me far. I learned so much as a tomboy. But anyway, the men's health book coming along just great. What we're doing is getting stories and information from our male customers about what they want to hear about, and taking their stories and putting together a very nice book. So it'll be great because there aren't that many health books for men, and then we'll do a men's webinar and it'll all be wonderful.
Yeah, it's going to be very fun. Yep, I think it's really exciting. Okay, just a few minutes to wrap up the show. What else do we need to discuss this evening?
Got lots of testimonials still that Jennifer sent me. Thank you, Jennifer.
Okay.
And someone is saying, I've been using Remag for quite a while now. I wouldn't have it any other way. I have had heart issues like irregular beats and a rapid heart rate for years with multiple misdiagnoses. So glad I found Dr. Dean and have my life back without medication. Awesome. Another one, I had AFib for 40 years. I went on medication in 1986. It worked okay for 30 years. Then it restarted getting more regular as I got older. 8 years ago, I had a catheter ablation, which failed. I ended up 5 days in intensive care. 4 or 5 years ago, I started on Remag, 3 teaspoons a day. In less than a month, I had stopped the AFib altogether. Never had it since. It used to start anytime, night or day. Sometimes it lasted for a day or more. But sadly, I now have started with atrial flutter. Still taking Remag, so it hasn't stopped that. In a month or so, they're going to do a cardio version and put me on a pacemaker. Hope it works. I'm now 76 years old. So that's James. Well, if they're talking about a pacemaker, I never say no to a pacemaker because that they're talking about that area of the heart that paces the heart is just not working, and maybe the magnesium was helping, but there's also potassium that a person could be taking. But once a doctor suggests a pacemaker, I just step back and say, well, keep taking your minerals, take your potassium as well. Look at the heart health book to find the triggers for AFib and make sure you've cleaned all those up. So that's what I would say to James. And the next one, it's another heart irregularity. Like I said, Courtney said most of the comments were about heart irregularities, and that's the electrical conductivity of the heart, which is based on electrolyte balance. So Richard is saying, I developed heart irregularities in my late 20s, steadily worsened, tachycardia, AFib, and palpitations. Unpredictable, can last from minutes to days. Cardiologists suggested beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, finally cardio ablation. My own research eventually led me to the benefits of magnesium. What if my problems were due to a mineral imbalance? Could it be that simple? See, people ask that. If they don't ask it outright, they ask it in their head. It can't be that simple. More research led me to RNA reset. I've been taking both the Remag and Remite supplements for 8 weeks. After 3 weeks, I experienced a significant reduction in all symptoms. Currently have days with no symptoms. All this without medication or surgery. I'm giving my body what it needs to run things properly. It sounds too good to be true, I know, but this has been my experience. I have my life back and I'm trusting my body again. Isn't that wonderful? Wonderful words.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And we'd like Richard to read the heart health book and see, is there something that he's been doing that is causing the symptoms? I mean, it could be sugar, too much sugar, alcohol, it could be gluten, it could be dairy. When you get cleaned up a bit with the Remag, sometimes it overcomes a food allergy or, some sort of toxin or poison, but then it can come back. I mean, we're telling people to read the heart health book and take potassium when these things kick up. Eric says, I'm a loyal customer whose health has been dramatically improved by Dr. Dean's Total Body Reset and Magnesium Protocol. My AFib, which has plagued me since 2006, that's over 13 years, seems to be on its way out. As of today, I just finished 1 full month without AFib episodes. This is the longest period free of them in over a year. I thank you for a great experience, which has changed my life. As I continue to speed toward my second month of being free of AFib, all because I found Dr. Dean's book on AFib on the internet. And this is actually, he signed as a doctor, so that's cool because he'll tell his patients. And I have a couple more minutes here. Almost through my first bottle of Remag and already seeing big changes. I have stage 3 kidney disease and AFib. See, when you have kidney disease, the doctors will say, don't take magnesium, it's going to be bad for you. They think the kidney isn't working and won't allow you to excrete excess magnesium, and it'll build up in your blood and affect your heart. But with Remag, it just goes into the cells and helps the muscles of your whole body. So James is saying, my heart is already smoothed out and it's not going crazy. And my kidney test results amazed my doctor to the point that she wanted the name of what I am using. That's a first, the doctor actually being interested. So she can give it to another patient that needs help. Awesome. My kidney function shows a 7-point improvement and there's no longer any blood in the urine. She's really over the moon, and so am I. Oh, that's awesome. And of course, we would be telling James to also take the Remite and Realign, really pump up the nutrients. Next one, Remag and Remite together are a great bundle. They're both products that I regularly use. And I feel this bundle is a good deal. Yes, it's on sale. There's a very good discount on a number of bundles on our RNA Reset website. I find that both Remag and Remite together help keep my heart rhythm normal. When I use them both every day, I feel more hydrated and my heart stays calm. Okay, Ginny, I will stop there.
That is so wonderful. Everybody, don't forget the contest at Dream Visions 7 to get your free Remag Remite. For sure, do our challenge, social media challenge, to get registered for some free products. Call customer service if you have any problems or concerns. We will all band together and we will handle this earth. Right, Carolyn?
Oh, yeah.
Bam.
Yeah. I appreciate people listening to my beginning, diatribe. And I thank Lisa for thanking me for it. I just felt I had to say something. So I appreciate having an audience that I can speak to and hopefully influence in a very positive way. So
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We love you. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, all listeners and all of our podcast family. We love, love, love you. And we'll be back next week.
Aloha, everybody. Mahalo.
You've been listening to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show. For questions about today's broadcast, email Dr. Dean at questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com. That's questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe.